Hello, if it's Thursday, it's Think Tank Thursday, and you are in the tank today with TrainerTainment. I am pretty excited because Candi Kelley, our Director of Operations, and really the primary one that does all the work in our company, is hanging out in the tank with me today. And Candi and I thought that it was super important to think about the fourth quarter. We've got a webinar coming up on the 24th of the month that's all about the fourth quarter. And just in conversation and one-to-one, Candi was asking me some great questions the other day, and I thought, oh man, we need to ask everybody this stuff. So I hope if you're watching and you're on Facebook today, I would love you to get engaged. I'd love you to get involved and push out your questions, and we can engage as we go here, because I think this is some really important stuff. So with that, Miss Kelley, take it away. What we need to
Hey,
be
how
thinking
are
about.
you?
Good, good.
Well, it's September. Two-thirds of this very odd and
Oh,
unplanned and unusual year is now behind us.
mm-hmm.
And it's really time for us to start thinking about quarter four planning. And I know you and I have that. It's scheduled, it's on our books, and it comes up as something to prepare for as we go into our quarterly meeting of this year. And so, when I keep thinking about that, this question has been popping into my head over and over again. And it's like, what do we want? And
Mm-hmm.
do we want the same things that we wanted when we started any other quarter or even 2020 this year?
Mm-hmm.
We had certain plans
Yeah.
for the year, and needless to say, not all of those came to fruition
Oh,
this year.
wow,
We had
right.
some big plans.
We had big plans. I believe, if I can recall, the theme was let's swing for the fences, and somebody picked that darn fence up, didn't just move it back, but moved it like to another city. you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
And, I think it can be real easy to become disheartened by the fact that none of those plans came to fruition,
hmm,
but
hmm.
other things came to
Yeah,
fruition, things that
that's,
there's no way we could have known about or thought
yeah.
about. And you see that on Pure Talk, people who are like, I never even thought to ask myself this question before
Hmm.
this time. And so, I can be disheartened by all the plans that I had for our new Grow Academy, that we had for this like new launch that we want to do and all that. Or I am choosing to look at this for us, for TrainerTainment, as an opportunity, because we get the opportunity to take a hard look at that question. What do we want?
Hmm.
We get to look at the goals we were chasing. We can analyze those and see if they still align with where, after we've gone through this really you know, tons of lessons out of this, tons of connections, all of that stuff, we can align it back with what we really want for the future.
Yeah, I think there was a ton of wisdom in that. I was reviewing our VTO, our Vision Tracker Organizer. We subscribe and run our company on
Mm-hmm.
the EOS model, Gino Wickman's EOS model. I was looking at the VTO on Friday, and I was going through, and we've adjusted. We adjusted our goals in the second quarter, and then we adjusted them again in the third quarter, and those are things we did to look forward. We keep a financial forecast so we can, that's one of the things that good leadership does, is it makes you good at predicting. And my word, we're in this unpredictable time. And I'll tell you something you said just now. You said chasing goals. You use that word. I don't know if you even heard yourself. And I thought, the minute you said it, I'm like, chasing. Is that what we really like? Is that what I want? Do I want to chase something, or do I want to achieve something? And there might be a real big difference there, Candi. We didn't even talk about that together, but it really struck me.
Well, I took goals, and goals help you achieve dreams, and you're chasing, like chasing
Yeah.
dreams has been common because, let's be honest, kind of, to me, it maybe is chasing goals, because the moment you achieve one goal,
Oh, you move it.
another
Yeah,
presents
yeah,
itself.
yeah. I think
The
that's why
moment
we
you
never
achieve
get.
one dream,
Yeah, you dream different, bigger. I think
mhm.
that's why I can never lose all the weight. I can't. I lose 5 pounds and then I get two more back, and now the goals get bigger. Oh man. What?
So unless you only have one single goal for your business or one single goal for your life, then you do spend a lot of time chasing them, because the next one's going to appear.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I got to tell you, Candy, the revenue piece, because those are the things we kept changing. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
if you ask me what do I want, well, I want to have the most respected coaching and training company in the world that's a multi-million-dollar entity, and everybody loves working for us and everybody loves working with us. You know, if you ask me what I want, well, that's what I want. But I got to tell you something. Money, that multi-million thing, that's a result. That's not the goal. And it's we need to be profitable in order to feel good about remaining in business. So this year, profitability is interesting, right? Because I don't know that very many businesses are going to be uber profitable this year. I think that if
Mhm.
they survive, because many are not going to, we're going to survive. We're doing quite well, I feel like. I mean, at least in juggling the opportunities that we were given with the federal government and monies to help small businesses. I would not say we're in thrive mode yet. So I want to thrive. Okay. I'd love to begin to have a sense of thriving before we get out of this year. You know, if you say, Beth, what do we want or what do I want for TrainerTainment before we get out of the fourth quarter? I'd love to have a sense of now. Now we're surviving. We're surviving. Oh, that made up a new word.
Surviving.
We're
You
surviving.
made a new
That
word.
that we got past survival. You know, I'd like because that
Surviving.
yeah
Beyond survival, but on the cusp of thriving, not
yes
quite there yet.
yes
Surviving.
surviving. That's it. Yeah, because that's hard. I think I'd love to talk to the business owners that we deal with, and many of the new ones that we've never dealt with, but that we've met through Peer Talk. That's been one of the great things about this. We've had the opportunity to connect with so many industry partners and so many businesses and organizations that we weren't doing business with before. And you can't, it's a weird set of circumstances that we've been able to meet so many new people, and I wouldn't trade
Hmm.
it. I wouldn't trade
Yeah,
it.
definitely one of the good things. But think of that, even that Pure Talk. At the beginning of
Mm.
this year, we wouldn't have said we wanted to host 60 people once a week. Like, we wouldn't have been able to
We
dream that
never,
that was even possible.
how, well, yeah. Or believe that
But
people would voluntarily come every week.
all But now, looking in the future, that is a huge part of what we want. We
Yeah,
want to plan group meetups.
yeah.
We want to have events specifically for them. We want to, host, you know, drink nights or any like meetups, so we can do things outside of the virtual realm.
Right.
It's funny because I think when you ask people like, what do you want? It's easy to come up with what you want in terms of business anyway. It's often harder if you push people like, where do they want their personal life to
Mm.
intermix? Like when I sat down and wrote the list of what I want, well, I want a lot of things. I want a certain number of express training memberships. I want that to be revamped. I want to sell enough courses to cover the cost of an employee in our business. I want a certain
Hmm.
number of clients. I want all of my staff to have a work-life balance that they feel very
Yeah.
comfortable. I want everyone to have a certification so they have something that's not just TrainerTainment, it's their certification and all that. That's easy, I think, sometimes, is to list a whole lot of things that you may
Hmm.
do. But then, like, if you look at all those things that you want, I think that you have to ask two questions, and people forget this next part, I feel. Why do you want that? Why
Yes.
is that important for you?
Yeah.
And then knowing once you have to pinpoint the why. Why is that important to you? And once you know that, you have to ask yourself seriously and realistically, are you willing to do the action steps that
Oh
gets you
yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of people are good at dreaming. Lots of people are good at wanting stuff, but how do you? Because you're wonderful at getting stuff done. What's your secret to how you prioritize? Here are the things that are important, and I want these things. But if everything's important and there's no priority, nothing will get done. I'm an expert in knowing that. So how do you, what's your secret, Candy? Because like I say, you are fabulous at getting stuff done. How do you prioritize?
It's funny that you see fabulous because I see it's always a work in progress.
Well,
But if
yeah.
we're talking business, I have a running to-do list, obviously, as most people do, however they keep their to-do list. But I am pretty like committed to that last 15 or 20 minutes of my day. I run through, make sure I knock off all the things that I did do, and then I look at what's remaining and then my calendar for what's coming up, like whether
Hmm.
it's client work or we had, the virtual events coming up. And so I go into the next day already knowing what my top three are. I write the top three things for tomorrow are. And so the next day when I start, I know the top three. And so it allows me to give myself some grace. Like if those top three are done, then I feel fairly accomplished for the day. Like I got what I really needed to get done today.
Mm.
And unfortunately, sometimes I'm a bit too committed. I have work till, at 11 and stuff at night because I'm
Uh,
like, these are the things I said I was doing today. I'm getting them done
hmm.
type thing. But that's, if I don't do that, if there are days that I miss because I got to run and pick up my girls or something's happening and I don't prioritize those top three, I start my morning the next day in kind of a whirlwind. Like I'm just
Yeah.
jumping from thing to thing
Yeah.
because I haven't done that.
That's great. That's
What do
fantastic.
you do? You have a journal that
I,
I think has really given you some
it
perspective.
has. It's been a year. So listen, I was a Franklin planner user from 1990 on. You remember in my book, I talked about selling Tupperware, and so we had a date book. I started selling Tupperware in 1984 and lived and died by the date book so that I prioritized and scheduled. And in 90, I switched to a Franklin planner, and I was religious with that. And Franklin Planner does a lot of good teaching about goal setting and time blocking and time management. I had trouble, when technology moved and PDAs became the thing, but things didn't sync well. I was always an early adapter to that stuff because, even if a system had worked for me for 10 or 12 years, if there was something cool and new, I might want to try that. So I goofed myself up for 3 to 5 years, I would say, with too many notes and too many journal like notebooks and things like that. Um, Live and die by my Google Calendar. And then last year, and I had discovered Michael Hyatt's um, Live Your Best Life. I discovered his stuff 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. And last year, when Nancy passed away, and I mean, it was just like right now, this time exactly, um, her sister Judy handed me a set of Michael Hyatt stuff. So it had a couple of books in it, and it had the quarterly planner. And I'll tell you, for a year, I have faithfully used that. So in that system, just like you, there's a top three, and then plenty of room to add a whole bunch of stuff. Um, I think for me, the biggest piece is there's an end of week where I look back and literally answer questions like what worked, what didn't work. You have a top three for the week. How far did you get on those things? What were your big wins from last week? And then you're planning the future week. So that review and then plan for the next week has been real powerful for me. And you know, I I prioritize an hour or so in the morning where I really study. Uh, our friend Jim Kessler got me onto Stoicism. I just listened to The Obstacle is the Way, and that author was inspired by Marcus Aurelius and Seneca
Mhm.
and Epictetus. I probably said that wrong. So I got a classic Stoic classics collection. So I've got that. I got my leadership. I got my John Maxwell leadership Bible that I pretty much I study every day, and then I have some other meditations and stuff. And for me, prioritizing that process, that piece of my day, sets me up well. It's kind of like you said, if you've not done your end of day planning, you feel all scattered about the day. If I don't do my morning thing, it's rough, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a really long answer to a very short question. So sorry, Candy.
Oh
So,
no, I,
you know what I want? I'll tell you what I want. I'm always a little over ambitious about what I can get done in the day. And then I really admire your sense of, as long as I get these top three done, I have met my own expectations. I'm going to borrow that because, like you, my list is really long. And so then you never feel like, oh my God, I just can't get caught up.
yeah, I think it's easy to get bogged down,
Yeah.
and even in setting like the figuring out what do you want and then setting the goals and the action steps, like I think it's easy to let yourself get bogged down by what will need to be done 5 steps down the road or 10 steps down the
Hmm.
road.
Hmm.
But I find that if I don't focus on what the next thing I need to do to get this accomplished, it can
Oh.
almost paralyze me because I'm like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
in 10 steps, I'm going to need to do X, Y, Z, and I'm going to
Hmm.
do like collaborate with JB on that. And I got to get time. Like, it will paralyze me for what I need to do now.
Hmm.
Because, you know, I don't know, what do you want sometimes is easy. Why do you want it? I think can get a little bit harder, but the action steps are the hardest stuff because there's always a sacrifice. Like, if this
Hmm.
is the thing, and we talk about this with EOS, like we talk about what is the most important issue, what is the most important.
Hmm.
And if these things are what we determine are the most important, they have to have precedence. Well,
Yeah.
everything can't be important, which means there's
Right.
a sacrifice. There's a sacrifice of time, of resources, of things like that for other things because
Yeah.
we are all in a, these are the most important things for us to knock off our
Right.
to-do list.
Well, I think
And
you're right. Like, why are they?
mhm,
That if we can't answer that question, they're probably not important enough, right?
yeah, and not just you answer it or me, like we are our leadership team here, but like someone's whole leadership team needs to buy into the why is that the most important thing for this quarter, for this year, like all of that vision of like where do we need to be, because I think that's what propels you and allows you to do the sacrifices that allows you to take that next step and
Mm-hmm.
the next step and the next step.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. What do you think the people we serve want? I would love to, because in a way, because we've been talking to a lot of people, in a way, it just seems like we just want to survive. And and is that enough?
It would be, I would love to know, it's like in the comments when this goes out, like what do you want, why do you want it, and are you willing to get there? But if I had to like pretend I had a magic ball that showed me what people wanted, I would say probably after this year, stability and knowing they can make it through the next challenge or obstacle. Like, don't get me wrong. I hope there's never another obstacle this big and
Yeah.
for this industry. But I come from restaurants, and there's always like a salmonella outbreak, and you got to get rid of all your or an E. coli thing or a listeria scare, and all of those things. And if you don't have those foundations of what it is you're working for and why you want it, and have all your leaders, I think you call it rowing in the same direction, then it's easy to lose your footing, and then that foundation is gone.
Hmm.
And so stability means you have a solid foundation
That's
to come
good.
back to.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, um, I I'm glad to be in this boat with the people that we're in it with. And that includes you and the TrainerTainment team and really all the people in this great industry that we serve. It's just unbelievable. I can't think, I don't know how to think about it with how it is in other industries. What
Mm-hmm.
I know about this industry is pre big freaking mess, we were trying to help each other. People were trying to learn what the best new social media marketing campaign is. We're trying to learn how to package things like that. We're all. It's a community that even when you have competitors, um, there's a sense of hoping everybody wins, and I don't think that's lost. I think I think this is a bit tiring. I think that this has gotten old.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's lost. I actually think it's been refined through,
Mm.
you know, vendor partnership meetups where they discuss things, to our peer talk,
Hmm.
to the different webinars that have been going on. Like, I think that people are able to see that they're more like who they may have viewed as a competitor beforehand than
Oh
not,
yeah.
and that us all doing well is good for the industry.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's a great equalizer too, right? I mean, we're all going through it. We're not a family entertainment center, but we're a business in the community, and we're all facing this together. And so I do think that creates kind of an equal footing, uh, and so hopefully we just keep managing our spirit, paying attention to when people get tired, because there's an opportunity to go lift them up and say, come on, let's keep going. And I think that's part of it. And you said it well. Don't think about, the fourth quarter won't be that long. It's only 90 days. And if we're to win and to get to, what did I call it? So thriving.
You got surviving.
Survive, thrive, survival. That if we can get there, when we get there, that we can face opportunity in 2021 and have renewed vigor. I know for us, I already planned out the calendar for 2021, and it was one of the best things that it helped my head, it helped my heart, it helped me with some enthusiasm and a forward look.
And I would like to like piggyback on the fact that you planned the calendar. You planned that calendar earlier than you have in past from
Yeah.
a point of passion. So where I feel like, yes, what we've been going through is tiring and we're ready for it to be over. And I'm not typically a Pollyanna that says like there's a silver lining in every single thing. Sometimes I think there's just lessons to be learned, and
Hmm.
things that make you believe in your resiliency. However, I guess I would challenge, as you're going into your fourth quarter planning and really thinking about what do you want in these most trying times, what are the things that sparked that passion back
Mm.
in you and gave you that creative genius, or gave you the motivation to create all of next year's calendar, or things like that. Like, don't just tie up on the things that you didn't accomplish, but in this point, where did you find passions?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what
good.
are the things that ignited you?
That's good. That's good. I'll tell you that passion about that 2021 calendar is just discovering what the whole clinic, the little micro virtual clinic pieces. And in my mind, what I was thinking, we got to find a way to generate our own lead sources. And so we put stuff all through the year because we can't depend on whether or not we can all get together or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to thrive. And we can't thrive if we don't get in front of people. And the businesses can't thrive if they can't get people in front of them and to their businesses. And we got to be obsessed with how to make that happen.
You can't thrive if you're being able to thrive depends only on external things that you can't control. So you've got
Yeah.
to bring some of the control for your
Yeah.
business.
Well, this is fun. I'm telling you, we are in the tank today, Candy. This is good. You and I could visit like this all day, I think. But I don't think people will watch it all day long. So,
No, people don't usually get tired of the Candy and Beth show or Beth and Candy show.
well, thank you. This was great, and we've got some fun things planned in coming weeks with Think Tank, and hope you'll join us. But Candy, before you go, you have to answer the Think Tank question.
Of
So
course, I know. I forced you to
you
create a
you, you made
signature
me
question.
yes you made me create it. I had to write it down for weeks and weeks and weeks so I wouldn't forget it. So we are obsessed at TrainerTainment with growth. We believe that when people grow, businesses grow, communities grow, they get better, their families get better. And so, to that end, Miss Candy, what is it that you do on a consistent basis to help yourself grow or even others?
Isn't this an ever-changing answerable question?
Yes, yes.
Um, I am still an avid podcast listener. I don't read quite as much as you do, but I get snippets of a lot of different topics through podcasts. And I don't know. I listen to everything from travel to financial information to business information to selling to how to be a better parent. Like, there really isn't a whole lot of topics that I won't cover.
That's cool.
Um, what I'm doing to grow others is kind of hard because I've been in this house not really with others for a very long time. But these days I'm trying to lead by example with my kids and stuff by being honest about some of the beliefs I've had about myself and about the world that may not be true right now.
Mm,
And being willing to have open conversations about those things.
mm.
And let my kids witness it and let people in my small group come to those, join me in those conversations. And that's hard sometimes. What we know about, because this world, what we know about the world, what we know about business, what we know about so many friendships, what we know about so many things has been altered in this year. And so I guess just trying with my small group of people to be honest about what that means.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, as always, I just I love you and I love your smarts and I thank you for jumping in the tank today. This will not be your last tank experience.
Oh, I'm sure not. And I love filling in for you. Um, and you've already shared everything that you're reading for this
Yes.
right now. What's next on
Oh,
your?
oh, wait a minute. No, I started listening. I finished Obstacles Away. I started listening to Unsubscribed. I have listened to it, not unsubscribed, oversubscribed.
Oh,
Oversubscribed. So I've listened to it before. It's almost like, one of my favorites is Never Lose a Customer by Joey Coleman. And oversubscribed is kind of like that. But I started that this morning on the morning walk. So yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Always a reading list. One day we'll have to start a Beth's book club.
I know. Well, my friend, they have bowling centers in Iowa. Mick Hackbarth, he said I blew up his Amazon card because he would forever I would be really good about mentioning what I was reading at the time, and if I was reading it, Mick ordered it, I think. So, oh, perfect timing as we end here. If you've not read this book, be sure and get your copy. We didn't shamelessly plug the book, and I will drop a couple of hints. We have a very exciting something coming near the end of the year that could be a companion to that book. And I also worked with somebody and am getting it on the schedule to get the book in Audible format. So
Yay!
watch for that very, very soon. So, all right. Thank you for joining the tank today.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.